Coming up on News Live at 6, a new COVID-19 cluster on campus, why it is requiring vigilant action from the university.
A new date for SU commencement has been announced, what you can expect from the newly imagined ceremony.
And today is St. Patrick's Day, how Syracuse residents are celebrating in the midst of a pandemic.
CitrusTV News Live at 6 starts with breaking news.
SU officials are warning students about a new rise in COVID cases, a COVID cluster potentially spreading to a large number of students. Good evening, I'm Liam Crowley.
And I'm Ricky Sayer. Vice Chancellor Haney says an emerging COVID cluster of cases on campus has the potential to spread very quickly. The university has experienced more than 50 new confirmed cases among students since late last week. In an email sent to students today, Haney said the clusters are concentrated in campus residence halls. That's a change from last semester's off-campus clusters.
And new at 6 tonight, the university is taking action to slow the spread of the campus cluster. Students in 3 residence halls are being asked to immediately exercise enhanced vigilance. The university is singling out Shaw, Del Plain, and Booth halls as dorms where students are being asked to test regularly.
Citrus TV obtained an email sent to Del Plain Hall residents requiring them to get COVID tested today. Haney's email put in bold a reminder to be responsive to communication from public health officials. There are 19 new cases on campus today, the biggest spike since February. The amount of students in quarantine has reached 192 people.
Citrus TV's Oscar Offerman joins us now to break down what this means for on-campus residents. Oscar?
Thanks, guys. The university is taking new actions to limit the spread of this new cluster. Indoor seating at Shine Student Center will be closed until further notice, and Panda Express, Halal Shack, Core Life, and Dunkin' will switch over to grab and go only. Also, all students in North Campus residence halls will be required to be tested twice per week, as opposed to the once per week that ruled since then. Residents and employees in Del Plain, Shaw, and Booth halls will also be required to double mask when inside their dorms, the exception being when students are inside their own rooms, of course. Public lounges in these dorms are also closed until further notice. These new requirements will go into effect at 9 o'clock tonight. This new concentrated cluster is forcing the university to take drastic action in order to ensure that students remain on campus and classes remain in person. Guys, back to you.
A major change in eligibility and vaccinations is now in effect as of this morning, impacting many members of our campus community. Citrus TV's Bradley Hoppenstein is in studio. Bradley, who is now eligible for the vaccine?
Yeah, thanks, Ricky. So it all comes down to a supply and demand game. With more vaccines coming to the state and its vaccination sites, Governor Cuomo is opening up vaccine eligibility to many more New Yorkers. As of last week, Cuomo lowered the vaccination age from residents from 65 and older to 60 and older, and taking effect just this morning, more expanded eligibility for essential workers and other employees. Beginning this morning, New York State vaccine eligibility has been expanded to several new categories of workers, now including many on the Syracuse campus. The latest update from the state says public-facing employees are now eligible for shots. For SU, this means employees who are required to perform their job in person and on campus are eligible under the designation in-person college faculty or essential in-person staff. Also starting this morning, all state vaccination sites, with the exception of pharmacies, can now give the shot to anyone eligible. Previously, some state sites were limited to certain groups of people. Pharmacies, as they have been, will continue to limit vaccinations to teachers and those 60 and older. Syracuse University employees shouldn't have a hard time scheduling a vaccine appointment either. Increased supply from the state and broader eligibility mean most vaccination sites will now be administering more shots each day. The State Fairgrounds, the closest site to SU, now has more than 40,000 open appointments through the end of May.
The fully vaccinated public would get us a long way closer to normal.
The expanded employee eligibility is definite good news for SU, but with COVID vaccines becoming more accessible, there's also been some recent confusion regarding exactly who on campus is eligible. Many students in university housing believed they were eligible for shots under the living in a congregate setting category, but both the state and Vice Chancellor Haney recently shot this down. But in a Q&A last Wednesday, Haney did note that he hopes the university can offer vaccinations to all students by the end of the semester, sharing that SU has already installed the necessary equipment, such as freezers, and much of the barn staff has already been briefed on the shots.
They're trained in the protocol. They understand what's necessary to deliver the vaccine. We have told the state that we're ready, activate us, give us the vaccine, and we'll take care of the SU campus population.
Now, vaccine appointments at the closest vaccination site to the university, the state fairgrounds, can be scheduled online or by calling the state's hotline at 1-833-697-4829. If you're an SU employee getting vaccinated, you will be required to show proof of eligible employment. So bring your SU ID, insurance card, a pay stub, something of that nature. Remember, starting today, you can now go to any state site, just not pharmacies. Guys?
Thanks, Bradley.
And in the latest, Chancellor Mike Haney announced an update in commencement plans for spring of 2021. CitrusTV reporter Samantha Lindell is at the Carrier Dome to tell us more. Sammy, what is graduation going to look like exactly this year?
SU is planning to hold an in-person graduation this year, but whether it will be here in the Dome or not will depend on if the SU community can keep COVID numbers down. I spoke to a 2020 graduate and an anticipated 2021 graduate to get their thoughts on graduation.
As of this week, SU announced that graduation will be held on May 23rd, 2 weeks later than originally planned. I spoke to a 2020 SU graduate who got her graduation stolen last year to see what she thinks the best call to action should be.
The graduation was online, virtual, and it was short. It was like a 10-15 minute thing, I believe, or I remember it being short. But yeah, we kind of just watched it. I was back at school with my roommates because my lease was until the end of May, so might as well live there if I'm paying for it anyway. So I was at school and we were all watching it and it was fine. I know Kent also said that we would have like an in-person graduation like during it at some point, just like when New York State allowed it or in-person gatherings were permitted again. So that was something to look forward to at the time. It gives me hope that the class of 2021 has one. I mean, they figured out how to do an in-person graduation, so that's nice that maybe they could do that for us as well. Hopefully, if they do have something, then a lot of students from my class would want to go back and celebrate.
Sarah Grinnell, a spring 2021 graduate, also had some thoughts about what her graduation plans should entail.
I think the trends are going pretty well. I know a lot of people are getting vaccinated. My parents just got vaccinated pretty recently, and I know that was a deciding factor for them if they were even going to be able to come to graduation. But now that they're vaccinated, they feel a lot more comfortable, and I'm sure other people do too. So I really hope graduation can still be in person and in the Dome, and hopefully numbers stay pretty low. But if it is unsafe, like if it is really high numbers, I don't think it should be in person.
The university has also stated that more information on what commencement might look like will be released on April 1st. I'm Sammy Lindell reporting from the Dome, Citrus TV News.
Citrus TV's Sammy Lindell. Sammy, thank you.
Voting on Student Association's new constitution continues today. The new constitution adds a second school-wide election in the fall to help fill vacant SA positions. It also changes the formula to allow for students in underrepresented groups to become SA representatives. Students can vote for or against the Constitution on MySlice. Here's what one SA member had to say today.
We need 10% of the student body to vote in order for it to be valid. So if everyone voted yes, but only 9.9% of the student body voted, it wouldn't count. So don't think like, oh, other people are going to vote. I don't need to. Everyone should be going online. It takes 10 seconds. Go on MySlice. It's under Vote Now. And submit your vote. Let your voice be heard.
You know, another nice day outside today. Liam, were you able to spend any time outside?
Didn't get a lot of time outside, but the warm weather has been very persistent for all of March. Here's hoping the luck of the Irish continues going into later in March. We now go to our Citrus TV weather anchor, Peyton Spellacy, to tell us more. Peyton?
Yes, I'm sorry we're experiencing some technical difficulties on our screen right here, but may I say you guys are rocking the green on the desk. So we went out of our way to wear out of our way to agree, and unfortunately I couldn't today, but the luck of the Irish must be true because today we had some nice weather here in Syracuse. I was able to go outside and sit outside with without a jacket on. It was so nice. It's a nice 51 degrees, only feeling a couple degrees colder, some cloudy skies, but nevertheless a nice day. Looking into tonight, there are going to be some cloudy skies, only 10 degrees colder than it is right now at around 8 p.m. That's all I have for you guys. Back to you.
Peyton, thank you. Happening now, a campus esports live stream is celebrating Irish heritage on this St. Patrick's Day. It's a unique way the holiday is being celebrated here on campus during the pandemic. You can stream the event on Twitch, which goes tonight until 7 p.m.
With the Syracuse St. Patrick's Day Parade canceled for the second straight year, bars and restaurants throughout the city are finding new ways to celebrate. With resident CitrusTV reporter Yaw Bonsu details how one bar is celebrating the holiday.
Thanks, Ricky. For 37 straight years, the city of Syracuse has held a St. Patrick's Day Parade. But last year, that streak was broken due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Even with things getting better slowly but surely, the parade suffered the same fate this year. So now that begs the question, how will the city of Syracuse celebrate the gold at the end of the rainbow? Well, one local bar and restaurant, Coleman's, is embracing the new challenge in some pretty fun ways. Here at Coleman's, workers are used to a line stretching all the way outside on St. Patrick's Day. But because of the pandemic, the restaurant, like the city of Syracuse, had to alter its plans.
It's been going on so long and so traditional that when you take that away from somebody, it hurts, you know? Not only business, but I mean, the camaraderie is really missed.
To celebrate the holiday, customers at Coleman's traded in their shots and beers for the restaurant's patented green drinks. But no matter your age, everyone was able to enjoy St. Paddy's Days at Coleman's. Young people described the experience as perfect, while older customers were a little more empathetic.
So it's a lot different. We knew it would be quieter, but we had to do it tradition. Got to paint our shamrock and enjoy it.
Now, things here at Coleman's may be different because of the pandemic, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy one of their famous burgers and Irish fries. Sisters Melissa Nazarenko and Jennifer Leao reflected on what it means to celebrate at Coleman's.
Because it's just family, it's the history, it's everything about it. You look at the ceilings, to the walls, to the floor, to the people. Things aren't the way they used to be, but you have to make it the way it used to be to make it go forward.
And I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's a great neighborhood, great customers, and we just got to get through this pandemic thing here and we'll be all right, you know?
Yaw Bonsu, CitrusTV News. Now, if the parade being canceled means we could enjoy those burgers and green drinks, I'm all in. Liam and Ricky, back to you.
Thanks, Yaw. Now to a unique restaurant opening their non-existent doors to students. Mad Burger Company opens on Friday. They use the concept of a ghost kitchen to deliver food to their customers.
This means that the food travels straight from the kitchen to delivery without the option of dine-in or takeout. For now, they plan to use Grubhub and DoorDash to make deliveries, but might transition to in-house delivery in the future. And coming up after the break, the suspected Georgia spa shooter has been detained. What police have to say about his additional intended harm.
The Biden administration is allocating $10 billion to testing in schools, how he hopes it will help reopen the country.
it's the air people. Where's Otto? Bert, I told you, just text him. Who is that? Still looking for Otto. Nick, really? Adam, he's in the lobby.
Cassandra, Bayheim isn't going to be able to make the show tonight.
Okay, don't care? Find Otto. Otto, we've been looking for you. Thank you so much for coming to our show. Now, will someone please put a mic on him? Places.
You're watching Citrus TV News with Ricky Sayer, Oscar Offerman, Liam Crowley, Peyton Spellacy, Bradley Hoppenstein, and Samantha Lindell. Citrus TV News, your campus news leader.
Now to an update on last night's series of shootings in Atlanta. The suspect in the spa shooting was reportedly heading to Florida with eyes towards more violence. That's according to Georgia police.
29-year-old Robert Aaron Long is suspected of killing 8 people, including 6 Asian people, at multiple Atlanta area spas late Tuesday evening. Long was detained heading south toward Florida, where investigators say there would have been likely more violence.
The Biden administration is investing $10 billion from the new COVID stimulus package into testing for schools. According to the CDC, funding is set to go out by April.
The tests will be distributed to teachers, staff, and students, as well as other individuals who may have been exposed to COVID. The administration hopes the funding will quicken the reopening of schools across the country.
And the latest on 2021's taxes, the IRS is planning to push back the deadline to file by 1 month. Taxpayers will have until mid-May to file their tax returns this year, 1 month after the usual deadline of April 15th.
While this would presumably make the deadline May 15th, that's a Saturday, this likely means the deadline would extend an extra 2 days to the following Monday, May 17th. Officials have not yet confirmed a date. And the latest out of Belgium, a Catholic bishop is speaking out against the church's recent decree about not blessing same-sex unions. Antwerp Bishop Johan Bani apologized for the pain the decree has caused.
The Pope Francis approved decree said it could not bless same-sex unions because, quote, God cannot bless sin. A conference of Belgian bishops is backing the bishop's concerns. The conference urged everyone to work on a climate of respect, recognition, and integration.
Stay with us after this break to keep yourself prepared for this week's weather.
Your girls have been with you through every moment of your life. They were with you when you felt unbreakable. With you that time you felt most alone. And with you when you realized you would never be. They were with you when you shared your love with the world. And with you when she became your world. Your girls have never left you. They're still with you right now. But how well do you know them? Knowing your breasts can save your life.
What are you, superheroes?
Just 4 brothers who hate bullies and love this city.
Whoa!
Gear up, guys.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back. Right now we were looking at the current temperatures around the area. All cities are landing in the high 40s to low 50s. As you can see, Q's 51. As we move down, Elmira 53. 47 in Rochester. It's looking like a pretty good day all around. But here in Hughes, we're feeling especially lucky looking at the rest of the week. There will be some rain tomorrow, but we might see a rainbow after, and there will definitely be a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. Sun is like gold to us here at Hughes, and after Thursday, there will be nothing but sunshine. Temperatures will rise throughout the week, looking at 34 on Friday, 52 on Saturday, 59 on Sunday, and finally 64 on Monday. So pretty hot week coming up. Tomorrow will be pretty cold and rainy, so make sure to grab a coat and an umbrella if you're walking outside on campus. It's going to start raining at around 7 a.m. and it will be downpour all day till 7 p.m. So that's all I have for you right now. Ben, what can we expect in sport?
Yeah, I'll break down what's next for the Syracuse men's and women's basketball teams, plus some NBA and NHL matchups. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Welcome to sports. I'm Ben Spector. The NCAA tournament is only 2 days away, and Syracuse men's basketball will take the floor on Friday. As an 11 seed, the Orange will take on number 6 San Diego State. Now, San Diego State is no walk in the park. The Aztecs are 23-4, and they've won 14 straight games, meaning they haven't lost since January. SU's coach Jim Boeheim even said himself that SDSU was overlooked by the selection committee. The Aztecs are a high-scoring team. Stars Matt Mitchell and Jordan Schackel lead the program with 15 and 14 points per game, respectively. Also, look out for the strong big man in Nathan Mensah, who leads the team in rebounds and can really damage the middle of Syracuse's 2-3 zone. As for the Cuse, Buddy Boeheim has averaged 29 points per game over his last 2 games. Go look for him to get going. Tip-off is set for 9:40 on Friday night. On the women's side, SU is also getting ready for the big dance. The 8th-seeded Orange will take on 9th-seed South Dakota State. The Jackrabbits made it to the tournament after going undefeated in the Summit League and undefeated at home. While Syracuse has not had the same luck in the record books, though, they do get star guard Tiana Mungakahia back. The 5th-year senior led the team in assists this season, but missed the entirety of the ACC tournament run. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves, but if the Orange can pull out a win, they will very likely take on the legendary number 1 seeded UConn Huskies. Tip-off is set for Sunday at 5:30. In the NBA, the Knicks fell to the first-place 76ers in Philadelphia 99-96 last night. New York's Julius Randle recorded a double-double with 19 points and 15 rebounds. Teammate Alec Burks came off the bench and put up 19 points of his own. On the other side, Philly's Tobias Harris scored 30 points and Seth Curry contributed 20. The game remained tied with less than 2 minutes left, but missed shots and some misfortune with the out-of-bounds lines effectively ended the Blue and Orange's prospects. New York heads home to face the Magic tomorrow night. On the ice, the Islanders took down the Capitals 3-1 last night. The story was Washington's first line. Alex Ovechkin, TJ Oshie, and Nicholas Backstrom all scored for the Caps. Ovi's goal was number 718 on his career. That pushes him past Phil Esposito for 6th on the all-time scoring list. On the Isles side, Oliver Wahlstrom scored the lone goal. It was his 6th of the season. The loss moves New York back to 2nd in the East Division. Tomorrow night, the Islanders head home to face the Philadelphia Flyers.
Citrus TV's Ben Spector. Ben, thank you. When we come back, we'll have one last look at your weather.
We're 5 minutes to air, people. Where's Otto? Bert, I told you, just text him. Who is that? Still looking for Otto. Nick, really? Adam, he's in the lobby.
Cassandra, Bayheim isn't going to be able to make the show tonight.
Okay, don't care? Find Otto. Otto, we've been looking for you. Thank you so much for coming to our show.
Now, will someone please put a mic on him? Places.
Welcome back to your wake-up weather. Tomorrow morning isn't looking too pretty. We have rain, like I said earlier, starting around 7 a.m. At 7, there will be a light sprinkle, but it will pick up in the afternoon with some downpour. So prepare for that when you get dressed in the morning. Now, for this beautiful day, I decided to do a picture of the day. Not a lot of students were wearing green on campus, made me a little bit sad, but Mother Nature made up for it. With the snow being completely melted, we can see the beautiful green grass on the quad. It was a nice day, people outside, sitting at Shine, but that's all I have for you for the weather this beautiful Wednesday. Ricky and Liam, back to you guys.
With COVID changing the way we celebrate holidays, one Dublin man got creative with St. Patrick's Day traditions.
That's right, Ricky. Yanni Clifford created over 10 Lego replicas of some of Ireland's capital's most famous pubs. You look at one there, I mean, picture perfect, Ricky. It's almost an exact replica. A lot of impressive stuff going on there.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't actually remind me of it, but I was going to say, back at home, we got a really nice pub. It's called Kelly's. It's in Villanova, Pennsylvania. You got a pub where you're from, or you're Irish, so.
I am Irish. My dad comes straight from Cork, and there is a pub called Kelly's there, and it is an absolute great time. I was fortunate enough to go before the pandemic, and it was just phenomenal. The food is great. The atmosphere is great. Some live music, too. You can't complain.
Yeah, and that is all the time that we have for you on News Live at 6. Be sure to follow us on Citrus TV News on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm Ricky Sayer.
And make sure to look out for the Citrus TV Tap airing on Instagram stories on the daily. I'm Liam Crowley. Have a very happy St. Patrick's Day, Syracuse. Goodbye and good night.